It's 2024, and if you want to get your shit together in your business, then you need to mind the gap. Right now, you can grab an early bird bonus when you enroll in my digital bookkeeping course, Mind the Gap. Visit my link tree in the show notes to enroll, and you'll be invited to book a one-on-one virtual call with me. We're going to strategize and set you on the path for financial success in your business. This call is free for new students of Mind the Gap, and it's currently a $500 value. The course will be available starting in May 2024, but don't wait to grab your free bonus and get into our online community. Everyone who enrolls in Mind the Gap right now will receive an exclusive invitation to join our virtual community. I'm going live in there twice a month to teach you valuable financial content, answer your business questions, we're co-working together, and you'll be able to network with other entrepreneurs who are doing this work too. All of my clients are there already, and we're so excited to meet you. Visit the show notes to get enrolled in Mind the Gap today. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Money Through Ease. This is your host, Reagan Bashara, and hopefully the transcription service gets that right this time, but it probably won't. And I have with me today my sales coach, Keli Lyn Jewel. Welcome, Kelly, to the podcast.
Oh my gosh. I am so excited to be here.
I'm really excited to have you.
Podcast every week.
You and like 8 other people.
I'm sure there are more than that. I'm sure there are more. It's a great.
I think so. Thank you. That means a lot. Yeah, y'all, I mean, you've actually been like on an episode before, so I took the recording that we did for your podcast and I just released it in my feed. So if people have been listening for that long, or if they've heard that episode, nothing new here to see. But
Is that
the reason that I
capitalism?
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. We are 2 little pigeons that just wind up in that same hole together. Like, ooh, let's talk about this. Yeah, I wanted to bring you on specifically at this point in time because you are enrolling people into the Selling You community / mastermind. And I want people to know about it because I feel that this has been an integral part of my success with growing my business in the first 2 years, which I'm not up to the 2-year mark yet, but we're approaching that. And so close. And yeah, I just want people to know about it. And people know me, like I'm the connector and I'm always like going to be trying to solve your problems for you without your permission. And, yeah, I'm just like, I know that a lot of people struggle with selling, marketing themselves, talking about their businesses. And I always hear people saying like, I need to convince somebody or I need to make them see that this is a valuable thing. And every time I hear this, serious alarm bells are going off in my brain. And I'm like, can I share something with you? Stop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So,
The idea that you would need to convince someone to purchase what you have available, whether that's an item or a service or whatever else, just seems so absurd to me. Because if I have to convince you that you need this thing, you probably don't fucking need it. And I would rather exclusively work with clients who already know that they need what I have to offer. And we're talking about how that works, how we're going to get to point A to point B on a sales call, what the details are, what it is that they actually want so that I can make sure what I offer is a good fit for them. And if not, refer them elsewhere. I'm not here to convince you that you need or want what I have to offer, because then you're going to get in and you're going to go, oh, what am I doing here? And then the work's not going to be good. The work, like, you're not even going to show up for it. Like, it's just going to be a terrible relationship. That's just all around a bad fucking plan. It's like with dating. If I have to convince you to like me, our relationship is going to be shit.
Yeah. Yes. It's been a long time since I dated. So, but yeah, like and I've always been the type of person that like the only people that I've ever been in a relationship with intimately is like the people who are gung-ho about me. I can sniff them out immediately, whether or not they're like picking up what I'm putting down. And if they're not, I'm just like, okay, bye.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Let's make sure this is a great fit.
we don't
That's it.
we don't have to waste each other's time. Like it's fine.
Right, right, right. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's the thing that people don't want to do is convince people. When people say that they don't like sales or they're afraid of sales or they don't want to be salesy, what they mean is that they don't want to be manipulative.
Yeah.
And they think that sales is about manipulation, and that's just not the case.
Hmm.
It's just not the case.
Yeah. I had a pretty solid foundation for marketing when I joined the Selling You community. And I'm specifically in the mastermind element, which my followers know that. But there are two levels to that community that you offer. One is way more in-depth and intense. So like if you're just like, I really need um a lot of touch points, I need a lot of hands, like I don't touching hands, like there's no contact involved if you don't want that. You know what I mean? Like if you just want to be able to send a voice memo and be like, all right, I'm dying. I need help, then the mastermind element might be for you. But if you want kind of a system to work through or a process to work through or a workbook or something where you can do this self-discovery and dive deep on your own, you can join the community element. But I had a pretty solid marketing slash networking, specifically like referral networking base whenever I came in. And so I was like not new to some of this stuff, but the concept of selling was still like that. I don't know. Like I don't want to be the person that is like trying to convince somebody who's maybe consented but is probably going to withdraw that at some point. And it just, yeah. So that was kind of where I was at when I came in. And now I'm just like, hey, you want my thing? And it's a much nicer experience for me. Like, who cares if I actually sell the thing? I'm having a better experience, like in my body, when I'm talking to people about my offers. And I think that is like more important than all the other stuff.
Well, and that's the thing too that is making it so that you are just fucking killing it. Like the reason you are able to be so successful in your sales is because I don't even fucking care if I sell it. I'm
Hmm.
feeling better about this in my body.
Hmm.
When you are showing up to connect with the person on the other side of the conversation, whether
Yeah.
that is in a sales call or in like some sort of a group presentation, webinar, whatever, or in your social media, marketing slash sales, which we can talk about the distinction there.
Mm.
But or email or whatever, when you're in a conversation and you're showing up to the other person as if they're another person
Yeah.
and you're showing up to connect with them and not to push something on them to or like coming out of your own desperation or anything like that, you get to have amazing sales as a result of that,
Mm.
instead of feeling fucking terrible and getting weird and like saying words that you don't really mean and
Yeah.
forgetting things halfway through, and
Yeah.
then like the whole time thinking, oh my god, are they going to buy it, 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 and not having any idea what they actually said.
Yeah.
Like it's just a different experience that makes sales more pleasurable on both sides.
Yeah, and you want your people to have a good experience the whole time they're interacting with you, of course. Like,
Yeah.
if the sales process is weird and awkward, they're not going to wind up inside your offer interacting with you feeling not awkward. Like, it's going to carry through. So, it's probably just a good idea to relax and be natural and be yourself, which I do. And I'm always the one making little jokey jokes, and I love to infuse humor into things, and I love to just be like cussing and and I think like me being relaxed and open gives them the permission to do the same. Like just that interaction of it's not a transaction, it's another human being. Like we could just talk.
Right. Yeah, and that's the when you think of your client relationships as relationships and not as transactions,
Hmm.
it just changes everything. And when you
Yeah.
consider the people coming to your consult calls or your sales presentations as clients as opposed to dollar signs, it changes everything.
Yeah.
One of the things that I talk about is the difference between a customer and a client. And so I want to specify that because I just said client relationships.
Mm.
And customer relationships can be more transactional. That's walking into fucking Target. Target doesn't know who I am.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit. They're just
Yeah.
like, here's some stuff you might need. You want some toilet paper? We got it. But I'm a client of my hairstylist. I'm a client of my massage therapist. They know me. They know my story, whether it's my hairstylist knowing whatever in-depth therapeutic things happen,
Yeah.
or how my hair grows on my head. My
Yeah.
massage knowing my body and the story of my body, so when you are developing relationships with your clients, that's not based on a transaction. It's based on trust. And that's what allows you to build solid foundations for sales. Because the know, like, and trust factor is pretty much the only reason people buy anything. They know, they like, they trust you. So without that, it is transactional. It's a customer. It's a one time. Maybe they like it, maybe they don't. They're never going to tell you. But for a service, they're not going to show up for it. And then it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
When you can
And
build
that
it's long term.
the idea that people buy a feeling is true, whether or not they're buying accounting or bookkeeping services or a QuickBooks Online subscription or a sex toy or like whatever it is that they're purchasing. They're giving you money so that they can feel a certain way. And when you are trying to be manipulative, you're kind of like taking advantage of that, like their need to feel secure and safe. And like especially with my clients, like they want to not feel like shit about their money. And like, how do I do that as an accountant? We just get their shit under control and get their stuff organized so that like I help them kind of not be afraid to look at it. The numbers may not even change, but whether or not they feel like they can look at it and make a change is like part of the work that I do with them. So the people that are looking for that, see me, and I hope they like see that that is an authentic thing that I want to give them. And wanting to sell just for the sake of making a dollar or having a client or growing my business or whatever feels like taking advantage of their need for security, safety, not being afraid. And I see so much of like the find out what their pain points are. Why would you want to touch somebody's pain point?
I'm not going to poke your fucking bruise. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I should be probably aware of like where they struggle and like the things that are maybe a little bit painful or uncomfortable, but not in a way to like take advantage of it. Like, yeah, just we're not doing any of that. And so approaching sales through this mindset changed a lot of stuff for me because I had always been educated on the power of like referral marketing, which is selling through somebody else who's not like a paid salesperson, like your network being aware of what you do, that you're an expert at it, and who your best client is, basically. And that's all fine and dandy, but you do need to learn how to sell yourself too. Like there doesn't have to be that kind of like middle person who like is able to recommend somebody to you.
Right.
And so like I don't know why it's taught this way. That like first, getting into your network and getting referrals is like the first thing that's taught. When it's like it should be the first person interaction that you're taught. And then beyond that, the second person interaction, we can cover that and like how to let somebody know who to be on the lookout for that could need your help.
Yeah. There's so many different sales strategies that exist. And of course, coming from the world of direct sales for over a decade, I learned them all, and most of them are fucking terrible.
Yeah.
But
Everybody has some experience with someone who is in multi-level marketing, direct sales. Hey, girl. And you're like,
Right.
you wrote some shit in my yearbook that I don't appreciate. Why are you
Well, and two,
so
like,
yeah.
you think of sales and you either think of the hey girl messages, or you think of the fucking kiosk bullshit at malls or whatever when
Mhm.
somebody's trying to spray some shit on you and you're like, I did not actually consent to that. Am I allergic? What are you doing? Or the 1970s, like, balding, mustachioed, with a cigar hanging out of his mouth, kind of greasy man who's trying to sell you a used car that's going to break in 2 weeks. Like, these are the options when
Yeah.
we talk about sales. And it just doesn't have to be any of that. It just doesn't.
I'd rather not. Those are the options. I'm gonna leave the restaurant. Like, don't want any of this.
Exactly. No, thank you, please.
Yeah, yeah.
Talk about networking though. One of the things that, and I didn't come on your podcast with necessarily the intention of like pitching my service, like pitching selling you. That wasn't, I didn't know we were going to talk about that. But since you
Oh, by the way.
you did mention it, I want to highlight how interesting developing this community has been, because an organic network has developed that I didn't
Mhm.
set out with the intention of creating. But like, there's been so much sales happen inside of the group and referrals happen from inside of the group because of the types of people we have in there.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just one kind of entrepreneur. We've got all kinds of different people doing different things, and there's
Yeah.
not a lot of overlap. So there's a really interesting network that has developed that I'm kind of obsessed with.
Yeah.
Every time I think about
Even
it, I'm like, oh my gosh.
even though there is like a little bit of overlap on some of them, like Sarah's social media marketing, and then Jamira, who was on the podcast when this comes out, it'll have been the week before, the episode before. Jamira like helps people with their marketing too, but through a human design and astrology lens.
Different lens.
Even
It is
the
filled.
overlap exists, but it's still so unique. And they are completely different people, both with amazing things to share and support their community with. And I've paid for both of their services. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's really
Yeah,
cool.
it's so interesting. And I know that you've gotten some referral clients from
Mhm.
there as well.
Yeah.
And I just, I never anticipated it. Sometimes when you go into a business or an offer or whatever with the genuine intent to do some cool shit and not just take people's money, amazing things happen that you
Mhm.
would have never planned for.
Yeah,
Never planned for.
totally. And my intention with joining the community was to learn how to sell. And just by being present, it was like, all of a sudden people were like, "Oh, I need you." And I'm like, "Well, here's my opportunity to practice." Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Which is another thing that's built into the community too, is an opportunity to actually fucking practice sales. Because
Mhm.
if you're doing, and if you sell in different ways, this specifically won't apply, but it's also something you can opt out of. But if you do consult calls, if you do
Mhm.
sales presentations, if you do anything where you are in front of another person, virtually or live, either way, to sell, how often do you get an opportunity to practice that? You
Yeah.
can't do that in, like, out in the wild in real life. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
So we've built in a structure so that you have an opportunity to do that. That's not like role play, because it is people actually purchasing. It's like, oh, I do
Yeah.
need a bookkeeper. You're right. Can I please hire you?
First of all, great job. Second of all, where do I sign up? Can speak to this specifically this week as of the time we're recording. You and I've talked about for my digital course, possibly having specific consults for that. If people are like, okay, but what they read the whole sales page, they watch all my videos, and they're still like, I don't know. Uh, like, okay. So the possibility exists that I might need to do consults specifically for that at some point. I will do them. But once I was like, okay, maybe in the future that's something that I'll do. I was like, okay, now it's time to panic because I've never done this before. And I don't want to end up on a sales call consult with somebody who's interested in buying my thing. And I'm like freezing like a deer in headlights because my nervous system, like I've never said these words out loud to somebody one-on-one. I've never said the price out loud to somebody who is interested in buying. And it's almost like exposure therapy. And I reached out to several people in the group that I have already done. It's like the dance partner call, which is the practice that you get to do. I've done this call with them before. And so I just reached out to them again and I was like, hey, I have a new thing that I'm going to be doing. I'd really appreciate like the opportunity to like practice my pitch, really is what it is. And all of them were like, yeah, absolutely. And okay, get it on the calendar. So now I've got like 5 of those lined up for me to practice before I even intend to start taking consults for it. And like that, just knowing that I'll be able to practice already gives me like peace of mind and just like calms me down about like not having done that before.
Yeah, and the possibility exists that some of them might sign up. They might not, because that's not even the purpose of this. The purpose is so that you can show up to the first consult you do with an actual person who approached you for this, who signed up for a real consult without losing your fucking mind about it.
Yeah.
That is there's just not an opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
I love that you reached out specifically and asked for that, because you're paired with somebody every week, but
Yeah.
just knowing that you have the support available to be able to reach out to other people and say, once is not enough, I please need more, thank you.
Like at least 5. Yeah. And they were all like immediately yes. Like everybody in the community is so, what is the word? Just like, sure, I'll help. I'd be happy to help. They're just like, they know that their purpose in the community is not only for like getting coaching, learning how to sell, learning how to create a sustainable business, because it's like more than just selling too, by the way. It everybody knows that they're there with the purpose to support other people too. Like it's not just about me. It's about everybody else and how I can like build my network by building them up too.
Mhm.
And I think that's awesome. So
Yeah. I want to go back a second to when you said you already had a handle on marketing and networking, that selling was kind of like what to you? Because I distinctly remember, I want to say it might have
you
been
asked me immediately, like the first call. It was like, all right, now tell me the difference between marketing and selling. We got to know where our baseline is.
right, right.
Yeah.
And that's, so many people will show up on social media. They will do the work to develop an email list, and they'll talk about, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. These are my values. This is what my business is about. This is what I do. And never ask anyone to work with them.
Yeah.
Never point people to the button. Never tell people what they need to do to sign up. And if you don't have that step, a lot of times, first of all, people aren't even going to know that you're selling anything.
Yeah.
And so if
Oh,
I
you're
don't know,
doing that? Great. Good for you.
yeah,
Oh, you want me to buy? Oh, okay. Sure. Let me think about it.
right.
That's the
I
difference.
can buy, like, I
Yeah.
can't tell you, I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
how many times I have seen somebody's
If
market.
you'd like to.
Yeah, well, but I can't tell you how many times I've seen somebody's marketing and been like, oh, that's really cool. I wonder where I get that. Maybe I can get it from you, but I don't know that because you didn't tell me. So I'm going to go look for it elsewhere, because what you're telling me, I actually now, because you told it to me, realize I could use that. But if I don't know that I could get it from you, I'm going to go find it on my own, and it ain't going to be from you, because I didn't know you were offering it. And it's such a crucial component that's so small, that it's easily overlooked. And without it, nobody knows you're selling anything.
Yeah.
Or that you have the opportunity to work with, or that they have the opportunity to work with you, because the possibility also exists that you're just a fucking brilliant bookkeeper and you work for somebody else. Or you're just a fucking brilliant bookkeeper and your books are full and there's no way I could work with you.
Mm.
But if you tell me that I can, well, then I know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I would love to do that. Oh, when I can do that with her, that's a different vibe.
Mm-hmm. I've had many people, and there's reasons for this that don't necessarily have to do with me, but I've had people watch my videos or read an email where I say, get on a training with me by clicking this link. And then they get on a training, they've already paid me money, and they're like, so do you have the capacity to work with me? And I'm like, do people just take other people's money and like not?
I know. And it's, I mean, there's there's so many sociological reasons why we are afraid to ask for what we want, right? But if someone is insecure about what problem you're solving, and they also have insecurities about being worth solving problems for and being worth investing in themselves or investing in their business or whatever, they're not going to just assume that you are available to them. They're going to have all kinds of doubts come up. And so you really do have to explicitly say, this is available and here's how you get it. People aren't going to ask unless you tell them that it's available. And even then they're going to question it, as you just laid out.
Which it makes me laugh every single time that like someone pays to be on a consult, someone pays to book a training, someone is like, I want to hire you to do my bookkeeping. You have capacity, right? I'm like, I would not be sitting here talking to you if I would have told you up front, like, I'm actually not accepting more bookkeeping, which this is not, I'm just saying this. Everybody, I'm still accepting bookkeeping clients. Okay. I would say
Y'all.
I would say that up front, that like, this is how you can work with me, but like my books are closed for this right now or whatever. And I think we've talked about this before, like on a coaching call, I believe that it's like, if if you hear what Kelly says a minute ago about people are not going to ask for what they want, whether or not they even believe that you are offering that thing, they're not going to ask. You have to tell them what to do. Even if you hear her say that and you're like, but I do have people messaging me and asking me, those are the people, that's like 2% of people. The other 98% of people do not ask. So just because you see certain people asking, it's not proof that everybody who wants it will ask for it.
Yeah.
There are way more people that are just not gonna inquire. So you have to be like, and you have to tell people what to do. I offer this thing, go click this link to work with me and do that thing.
Well, and if you're using the outliers to determine what is standard, first of all, you're always going to fuck yourself. But essentially what you're doing when you're not telling people how to work with you is expecting them to have more confidence in your offer than you.
Yeah.
Like, what?
That's not how that works.
That's not how that works. No, the general public cannot be in charge of your business. You have to take control of that.
What? What do you mean? Damn it. I started a business to be in control of what I do and how I work and when, and then, oh gosh, I'm just going to sit here and wait for somebody to come along and hire me, which is what I was doing. Like, raise your hand. That was me in the very beginning, hiding. Waiting for people to come to me. And now it's completely flipped on in the other direction for me. Like, I have to here's the thought that I practice. If anybody wants to borrow they're welcome to. If there are people out there who want to work with me that don't know about me yet.
Yeah.
That is true. And so like, I got to show up in front of their fucking face Please, algorithm gods, put me in front of them.
Mhm.
I gotta let them know that I can help them. They're like struggling. QuickBooks Online makes them feel like a fucking idiot. I
Right.
can help you. Hi, it's me. Hire me. Like that is where I'm at now. And so the thought is there are people out there who need my help. So I just got to get in front of them. I just got to like let them know I exist and how they can work with me so that they can click the button. And that's it. Like that's my job.
Well, and there's so much that goes into determining how and where to do that too. Like you have found incredible results on TikTok, and that's not necessarily going to be universal for everybody. But like part of the things, words, some of the things, part of the stuff, I don't know, part of what we do. How about if I phrase it that way? Part of what we do inside of selling you is really determine like who is your ideal client, not with a bullshit avatar, because fuck all of that, but like who is your ideal client? Where are they? How can you show up there where they already are instead of trying to siphon them over to the place that you think you should be?
Yeah.
Like TikTok, amazing. Not amazing for everybody. For some people, social media itself is not going to be the most fantastic answer. For some people, it's going to be more like in-person events.
Yeah.
For some people, it's going to be getting on stages. For some people, Pinterest might be the platform of their dreams or whatever. LinkedIn, great for some people, not for everybody. So determining who your ideal client is, where they are, and then like forming your messaging around how to make sure that you are speaking their language to them in their own space. That's so useful. And oftentimes people think, oh, well, everybody's on TikTok. I got to go over to TikTok. Do you? I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't.
Yeah.
Well,
Give it a
LinkedIn,
try.
business
Yeah.
people go. But business people go to LinkedIn? I don't know. Okay. What kind of business people? Are you trying to get business people? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's things to consider that when somebody starts a business or launches a new product or service, they don't necessarily think about, and they just kind of do the things that quote unquote everybody else is doing that may or may not apply.
Yeah. I think something you've said too is like you can do whatever the fuck you want and it will work, but you gotta like put in the work and not just try something. If you want to go over on TikTok, you gotta be posting like I have been posting daily on TikTok since like June of last year.
Hmm?
And yeah, it's worked for me, but it didn't start working until like 2 months in. And then I was getting a few little nuggets of people. And like, that is how it's going to be for anything that you pick. So just know that it doesn't matter what you fucking pick, but like, you got to stick with it and put it in the work and work it and like have a smart message, have a smart like template or have a plan, but like doesn't matter what you pick, just do it though. But like stick with it and know that it takes time for it to show up,
Yeah.
for you to see results. It's
Yeah, it takes
important.
time. People always think they're giving it enough time and that they're doing it enough. But one of the things, God, one of the first business coaches I ever worked with who wanted to punch her, I said I felt like I was working all the time. And she said, are you working all the time or are you thinking about work all the time? And I was immediately like, fuck you. That was fucking
Etch
work.
these hands immediately.
But in reality, like, you do the thing and you have to do the thing consistently over time. And consistently does not mean constantly, but consistently over time. And I know we've talked about this, but the timelines that I like to offer are like, do something for 3 months before you even allow yourself to form an opinion. I'm just going to do this thing. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to keep doing it this way for 3 months. And at the 3-month mark, look and see what's happened. Collect some data to make some decisions about how to tweak, how to shift, how to, maybe it sucks altogether and you quit. Unlikely. But at 6 months, then you'll start to see some stuff come to fruition. It's not until about a year of doing that same thing consistently that you really start to see some results. And a lot of people get mad about that. And a lot of people don't want to do it. And, it's just like, well, that's kind of the entrepreneurial game. It's just kind of the
Yeah.
game. You got to give it time. And if you're not willing to,
Lucy,
hmm.
my dog, I don't know if you can hear on the recording, but my dog is barking. She's like, yes, girl, yes. She is like cheering on this conversation. Okay, so this episode is coming out March 15th, 2024. I just want to talk about the 3-month thing because this has just occurred to me as a way to frame it because our fucking attention spans are so short and we all have amnesia. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But March 15th, 2024, this episode drops. 3 months ago was before Christmas.
Yeah. Yep. Sure
If you
was.
put it like that, people are going to be like, oh, like that is
Yeah.
how long you need to fucking do something. And like doing something is wallpapering the internet,
Wallpapering the internet.
not
Exactly.
a video a week,
Mm-mm.
a video every day for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's, and blah, blah, blah. We could talk about fucking batching content and all that shit. It's not you showing up every single day to post a video. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
The amount of times that you make an offer, put your stuff out there to sell, make a marketing post needs to end up being daily between before Christmas and now. That's
Mm-hmm.
what we're talking about in terms of like consistency and how much you got to put in and like then wait on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And that
wild.
3-month mark does not mean now I'm a millionaire. That 3-month mark means
What do
now I
you mean?
I've collected and I get to make some decisions about what to do about this.
Yes. It's
Then we
all a science experiment. We're
yeah.
gathering data. That's it. So if you're not willing to kind of like do that, put that amount of shit out there, make those offers, and then be okay with the result of nobody fucking clicked. You got to be okay with that because you still got valuable data in the meantime.
Yeah.
You've got to be okay with like that. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, ugh, that is so frustrating. Like, I'm feeling the frustration come up, but it's not something that I live in right now. But like last year, when you rudely told me, I was so fucking frustrated. I was like, what do you mean nobody's gonna buy?
Yep.
Why am I doing this? Friend, it is okay. That is to be expected. The rare case that you fucking blow up for some reason and have an influx of people buying is the exception to the rule.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah. But this is why the statistics remain that small businesses fail within the first 5 years.
mm-hmm.
It's not because they're terrible. It's not because the offer doesn't have value. It's because you have to be willing to put in the first year of your business doing nothing but collecting data.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that there won't be sales. There may absolutely be sales. But you have to be willing for that first year not have any sales and just be data collection so that you can see what is working, strengthen that. What isn't working and why without weaponizing that against yourself. And then decide how to move forward with all of that data. And it's just that same process over and over and over and over and over again.
Welcome to business ownership.
Right.
I'm just gonna cross my arms and like pout for a second.
Yep.
What do you mean I'm not on my private jet with Taylor Swift?
Oh my
God.
If you ever send me a message that says you're on your private jet with Taylor Swift, that is how I will know you are not okay. We need to send a search party, whatever.
Cry for help. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I'm so sorry if that's frustrating for anybody to hear, but like truly, I'm there. I'm with you on that. And you know what? I am successful based on the definition of success that I set for myself originally because I dealt with that frustration and that reality and then accepted it and kept fucking going.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
And sometimes what that looks like is staying with a full-time job while you're
Mhm.
building your business as a side hustle for a bit.
Mhm.
Sometimes what that looks like is, oh, I had some stuff that was working. I came out of the gates and people were like, "Oh shit, that's cool." And I had a lot of people buy, and then it was crickets for a little while. Now I need some time to adjust. So I'm going to go get a part-time job for a hot second in
Yeah.
order to take the financial pressure off of my business. It
Yeah.
can look like so many different things, but it takes time. It takes time. And
Yeah.
again, more time than what people want to give it, especially with our little goldfish brains now.
Yep.
And and I know that sucks. And also entrepreneurship isn't for everybody. And that's also okay.
Period. Today, dropping the fucking truths on everybody. I'll apologize again. Some of you are triggered. I'm so sorry. But that's why you come to me, is that like I'm gonna fucking tell you
Yeah.
what shit is. So, with all of that being said, apparently I have not been clear in the last couple of fucking times I've interviewed people, because Jamira was like, I thought we were gonna, and I'm like, oh. And you're like, oh, I didn't realize we were talking about selling you today. Surprise ever. No. Um, no, I wanted to bring you on specifically in March because I know you're closing the doors for selling you, and I want my people to know that like they need to work with you, period.
Yeah.
And so, but you also had something that you wanted to offer as like a bonus. So please tell us about all the things and where we can do all that.
Yeah, totally. So, if you want a consult for selling you, that's very, very simple. You just fill out a form, and I call it an application for a consult. The purpose of that is so that I can walk into the consult knowing a little bit about your business. So the application form tells me some information, and it's really basic. And that's in all of my social links. It's everywhere. I'm sure it'll probably be in the show notes.
Mhm.
But the curriculum for selling you starts on March 27th, which is a Wednesday.
Mhm.
And that applies for both the community and the mastermind levels. So on that day is when the doors close. Like once the curriculum is up, we're not letting new people in because I don't want anybody to feel behind or whatever. So that's when the curriculum starts. The curriculum is available for both the community and the mastermind levels. Everything that's available in the community is available to the mastermind. In the mastermind, we just take it a hell of a lot deeper. And you get basically 24/7 access to me for all your questions, all your comments, all your concerns, all your memes.
I will send you so many memes if you join the mastermind. If nothing else, you can join for the memes. And then Anna's 15-minute long voice memo.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so there is that stuff. The bonus is for your people.
Okay.
Last year, the Selling You community did what we called a Biz in a Box day-long summit. It was a one-day virtual summit that was some of our top entrepreneurial brains within the community coming together to offer workshops within their specialty. So the two people you mentioned earlier, Sarah and Jamira, they each did a marketing workshop. Sarah from the analytical perspective and Jamira from the human design perspective. We had another Sarah talking about time as a CEO and an executive running a company, running a business. We had Della talking about copywriting. You were talking about bookkeeping, just like, I don't even remember how many, how many workshops.
Yeah. Liz and Joanne did stuff
Yeah,
too. Really good stuff. Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, it was an entire day just jam packed full of stuff. And so everybody who joins Mind the Gap, I'm going to give them access to the replays for all of that so that they can have access to all of this phenomenal content that's just sitting in a Google Drive right now. It should be used. It should be used.
Such good stuff. And yeah, I taught a class about like business numbers and all of that. And so when you enroll in Mind the Gap, you're getting a bonus from me right now for a limited time. That is a VIP virtual strategy call is the phrasing that I'm using. It's an hour of me and my attention on you and your business for whatever that is, whatever you want to do. And when you join Mind the Gap and enroll and into selling you, is that what you're saying?
No,
No,
just
okay,
giving your people
sorry.
this. I want your business to grow as well. I am invested in your business.
Thank you.
I'm giving your people access to all the replays for that.
Okay, perfect. So enroll in Mind the Gap, get your bonus VIP strategy call with me, and Kelly will also provide access to the replays. It was like 8-hour-long classes on like biz in a box. Like if you are starting a business, you've already started your business, and you're like, holy, you need to watch all of these replays from brilliant folks who can help you get shit under control. So that's the bonus. Thank you so much for offering that. And also, my people, go get into fucking selling you. Like, that's what I wanted to talk about too. Yeah, come on, let's go. Get in here. My muse, my intuition, whatever is like, just come on. We got shit to do. Get in here.
Yep.
That's the vibe. Thanks so much for being officially a guest on Money Through Ease. I really appreciate you sharing brilliant expertise, and I will include all of the links for people to follow you in the show notes to get into selling you, and know that if you enroll in Mind the Gap, that we'll get you connected with Kelly for sure to get the replays of all that. Thanks so much.
Thank you. It was so lovely to be here.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Money Through Ease. If you found value in today's discussion, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a rating and review. Your feedback really does mean a lot to me. And if you're ready to take the first step towards organized finances, be sure to download my free receipt organization guide, Chaos to Calm. Visit the link in the show notes to grab your free copy now. Remember, your financial journey starts with small steps. I'm here to support you every step of the way. Until next time, this is Reagan Bashara from Money Through Ease. Stay empowered.